Pathocracy refers to a system of governance where individuals with personality disorders, particularly psychopaths and narcissists, seize power and establish totalitarian control. These regimes are characterized by manipulation, a lack of empathy, and an insatiable hunger for dominance. In this discussion, we'll explore what pathocracy is, where the concept originated, how it differs from authoritarianism, and the warning signs that help us recognize it. Hey, I'm Aqua or Aquarius of Fallen Snow if you don't know me. Welcome to this deep dive breakdown video. Happy to have you back if you've been here before. The term pathocracy was introduced by Polish psychiatrist Andrzej Orbajewski, who drew from his experiences living under Nazi and Soviet rule. He argued that pathocracies don't arise by accident. They emerge when psychological vulnerabilities within a society are exploited by those with personality disorders. Pathocratic regimes share several defining traits. They are ruled by individuals who exhibit psychopathic or narcissistic tendencies, enforce totalitarian control over all aspects of life, and suppress dissent through propaganda, corruption, and often violence and terror. Orbajewski's work in Honorology, the study of evil in political systems, frames pathocracy as a kind of societal disease that manipulates language and distorts moral values to maintain control. While all authoritarian regimes concentrate power in the hands of few, pathocracy is unique in that it is psychologically driven rather than merely ideologically or opportunistic. The distinguishing features include leadership by individuals with clear personality disorders, a spread of pathological behavior throughout the ruling class, and a reliance on emotional manipulation rather than a coherent ideological foundation. These regimes often employ simplistic narratives to justify their rule rather than detailed political doctrines. Propaganda is the lifeblood of pathocratic regimes, serving as a tool to manipulate, control, and distort reality. Some of the most common techniques include oversimplification, framing issues as us versus them, demonization of opponents, fear-based appeals, exaggerated nationalism, and the construction of an infallible leader through a cult personality, not to be confused with occult personality, which would be like secret society-esque, right? Language itself becomes a weapon, with euphemisms used to sanitize horrific acts and repetitive slogans reinforcing the regime's messaging. In the digital age, social media has become a crucial battleground. Pathocratic regimes utilize targeted messaging, viral content, private messaging apps, bot networks, and coordinated disinformation campaigns to control public perception and suppress dissent. While labeling a regime as fully pathocratic is complex, certain governments exhibit strong tendencies that align with this concept. Examples include North Korea under the Kim dynasty, with extreme examples of cult personality and totalitarian control, Russia under Vladimir Putin's reign, with nationalist rhetoric, demonization of the West, and suppression of dissent, Venezuela under Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro, with populist rhetoric, institutional erosion, and systematic corruption, Turkey with growing authoritarianism and suppression of free expression, as well as Myanmar with brutal suppression of opposition and human rights abuses. These regimes share a common playbook: leaders with pathocratic traits, widespread propaganda, and suppression of opposition to maintain control. While North America has long prided itself as democratic institutions, it is not immune to pathocratic tendencies. Both the United States and Canada have seen historical and modern instances where authoritarian behaviors, propaganda, as well as systematic manipulation have threatened democratic values. In the past, the US experienced pathocratic elements during the McCarthy era, where fear-based propaganda and suppression of dissent led to mass paranoia and persecution. More recently, political polarization, media manipulation, and the use of demagoguery have raised concerns about the erosion of democratic norms. The increasing spread of conspiracy theories, targeted misinformation campaigns, and the use of nationalism to justify authoritarian-leaning policies are all red flags. Canada, while often perceived as a bastion of stability, has also faced challenges. From the mistreatment of Indigenous communities under government policies to implementation of emergency powers during crises, elements of authoritarian control have surfaced. More recently, concerns have emerged over restrictions of speech, government overreach in certain sectors, and political leaders leveraging populist rhetoric to consolidate influence. Both nations must remain vigilant against the encroachment of pathocratic elements, ensuring that democratic principles and individual freedoms are not sacrificed in the face of political expediency or manufactured crises. So then I asked ChatGPT directly how Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and other oligarch technocrats fit into this. Here's what it said. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the broader technocrat oligarchy fit into this framework in different but interconnected ways. While they may not directly establish totalitarian regimes, they exhibit and enable pathocratic tendencies through their influences over politics, media, and technology. Donald Trump's leadership style closely aligns with pathocratic traits: charismatic authoritarianism, emotional manipulation, populist rhetoric, as well as demonization of opponents. His use of fear-based propaganda, attacks on democratic institutions, and normalization of misinformation created an environment where division and political instability thrives. The cult of personality surrounding him further echoes the dynamic of pathocratic regimes. Elon Musk and the technocratic oligarchs. Figures like Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg wield immense, often unchecked power over global communication, commerce, and technology. Musk, in particular, has demonstrated erratic behavior, a disregard for regulatory oversight, and an ability to shape public discourse through platforms like X, formerly Twitter. His actions, such as amplifying conspiracy theories, engaging in authoritarian-style management, and positioning himself as a visionary savior, reflects elements of pathocratic influence. And then finally, the role of the tech elite. The growing centralization of power within the hands of tech billionaires introduces a new form of pathocracy, one driven not by traditional political structures, but by control over information, surveillance, and algorithmic information. Their ability to shape public perception, manipulate markets, and suppress dissenting voices through deplatforming and algorithmic biases places them in a unique position of authoritarian-like control without holding formal political office. To protect ourselves from the dangers of pathocracy, we must cultivate awareness and resilience. This means sharpening critical thinking skills, improving media literacy, and recognize bias and propaganda. Not to mention fostering empathy to resist the dehumanization of perceived enemies. Defending democratic institutions such as free speech, fair elections, and independent judiciary systems is crucial. And above all, speaking out against injustice, even in small ways, contributes to larger resistance against authoritarian rule. Understanding pathocracy is the first step to preventing it from taking root. By recognizing its signs, promoting critical thought, and upholding democratic values, we can work towards a society that values reason, justice, and empathy over manipulation and fear. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and never stop questioning. So at this point in the video, I'll go a bit more off the top of my head here, but I ask you, the viewer, does this ring any bells? Does this sound familiar at all? Because ChatGPT can't be biased or it can't really take a point of view like that, I don't think it can really say, oh, 100% Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Justin Trudeau, whoever it is for sure a pathocratic leader, or at least demonstrates traits of pathocracy or psychopathy, right? Definitely narcissism. But I feel like even myself, as I was reading through that, I was going, oh yeah, they check all the boxes for these things. But because people don't even know about the word or the definition, what it's meant to mean, and they barely know anything about psychopathy or narcissism, how are they ever going to know that their leaders are actually psychopaths and narcissists, right? And it's funny because when I try to talk to people about this stuff, they just either choose to ignore it, ignorance is bliss, or their ego gets in the way and it doesn't allow them to see this stuff or that it's happening. And I find it interesting how often people come back to the excuse like, oh yeah, it's worked for so long, so we should continue to perpetuate this system, when in reality, you know, they're, in my opinion, I think they're choosing to be slaves, and slavery never left. It's just called business and economics now, right? And obviously, our leaders are wanting to hold control and keep it, rather than trying to uphold, you know, community and actual democratic values, right? But I think this is a good length for the video for now. I won't go too much longer in this one, but if you like what I'm talking about, definitely check out my other 2 videos that I made before this, which I can link in the description of this video, where I look at psychopathy and other mental conditions, and go more in depth not only on this topic, but other topics that are in the same ballpark or relate to it. So I'll say this, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it helps support the channel, and subscribe to help build a community, be a part of the family, help us grow, and then you don't miss the new videos that I post, which could be my podcast, The Shit Shooting Gallery, a lyric breakdown video, a theory video. Honestly, the possibilities are endless at this point. So stick around because we're just getting started and we're almost at 40 subs, so help us hit that milestone. But yeah, that being said, I'll leave this video here for now. Like I say in all of them, I love you, stay safe, good luck, and take it easy.